Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the dimly lit control room of Project Sentinel, her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display that dominated the center of the underground facility. The quantum detection grid she had helped design was lighting up with unprecedented activity. After 15 years of silence, they were finally here. Dr. Chen, her AI assistant Aria's voice was calm but urgent. The signatures matched the theoretical profiles we extracted from the Titan array. 300 vessels, emerging from what appears to be artificially generated spatial distortions at the edge of the Kuiper belt. Sarah took a deep breath, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface as she pulled up additional data streams. Around her, the elite team of scientists and military personnel who had dedicated their lives to this moment moved with practiced precision. There was no panic, no chaos, just the quiet efficiency of people who had trained for this exact scenario for decades. Profile match. Colonel James Rodriguez asked from his station, his dark eyes never leaving his own display. 97% correlation with the Shadow Protocol predictions, Sarah replied. They're following the exact approach pattern we theorized. Typical conquest formation. Just like the radio emissions we intercepted from the Proxima Centauri incident suggested. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had known this day was coming since the first quantum echoes were detected in 1947. What the world had dismissed as UFO sightings and conspiracy theories had been the first hints of a vast galactic empire testing Earth's defenses. But humanity had done something the empire never expected. They had watched, learned, and prepared in absolute secrecy. Sarah opened a secure channel to the Global Defense Council. This is Project Sentinel. Implementation of Protocol Omega is now authorized. Authentication code, Chen 7749 Delta Rising. Across the planet, hidden facilities began to power up. In the depths of the Mariana Trench, quantum forges that had been silently manufacturing advanced technology for decades increased their output. Beneath the Antarctic ice, massive energy collectors began channeling the Earth's geothermal power into systems that defied conventional physics. They're broadcasting, Lieutenant Emma Hayes announced, her hand steady as she manipulated the communication arrays. Standard Imperial Conquest Protocol, just as the Titan intercepts predicted. Demanding immediate surrender. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Let's show them why that was a mistake. Ariana, initiate the deception grid. Across the solar system, thousands of quantum-linked satellites activated, creating a web of false signals and phantom readings. To the approaching fleet, Earth would appear exactly as they expected, a primitive planet with minimal defenses and outdated technology. The trap was set. Colonel, Sarah turned to Rodriguez, are the Lazarus platforms in position? He nodded, a grim smile on his face. All 67 platforms are cloaked and ready. The minute they cross the Mars orbit, they'll have no idea what hit them. Sarah watched as the alien fleet moved closer, their confidence evident in their formation. They had conquered thousands of worlds this way, but they had never encountered a species that had spent generations preparing for their arrival. Humanity had turned their greatest weakness, their paranoia about alien invasion, into their greatest strength. They're launching probe ships, Emma reported. 3 vessels, minimal armament, standard recon configuration. Perfect, Sarah whispered. Let them come. Let them see exactly what we want them to see. As the probe ships entered the inner solar system, Sarah thought about the generations of scientists, soldiers, and leaders who had worked in secret to prepare for this moment. The world's governments had maintained a perfect facade of division and primitive technology, while beneath the surface, humanity had unified and advanced beyond anything their would-be conquerors could imagine. The alien ships passed the orbit of Mars, and Sarah gave the order that would change human history forever. Execute Operation Looking Glass. Across the solar system, humanity's true defensive grid began to power up. The game of cat and mouse was about to begin, but the roles were not what the Galactic Empire expected. Earth wasn't prey waiting to be devoured. It was a predator that had been patiently waiting to spring its trap. The first phase of humanity's greatest deception was about to begin, and Sarah Chen was ready to show the galaxy why underestimating Earth was the last mistake any empire would ever make. The alien probe ships moved through the asteroid belt with practiced precision, their sensors sweeping for any sign of defensive installations. Behind them, the main fleet held position, waiting for confirmation that this would be another routine conquest. They had no way of knowing they were already inside humanity's web. In Project Sentinel's control room, Sarah Chen watched the tactical display with intense focus. Area, status of the quantum entanglement field. Field integrity at 100%. The AI responded. The probe ships are detecting exactly what we want them to see. Their sensor readings confirm they're fully accepting our projected false data. Colonel Rodriguez moved to Sarah's station, his voice low. The Lazarus platforms are tracking multiple targeting solutions. Should we demonstrate our capabilities now or wait for their main fleet? Sarah considered the options they had gamed out thousands of times in simulations. Let them get closer. The more of their technology we can analyze, the better our countermeasures will be. The probe ships continued their approach, completely unaware that every moment of their advance was being recorded and analyzed by quantum computers hidden in dimensional pockets throughout the solar system. Humanity had learned long ago that the best place to hide their most advanced technology was in spaces that existed slightly out of phase with normal reality. Energy spike. Lieutenant Hayes called out. They're preparing to launch their standard sensor package toward Earth. Sarah nodded. This was the moment they had prepared for. Initialize protocol echo. Let's show them our first card. Throughout the solar system, carefully hidden gravitational manipulators activated. The alien sensor packages, designed to penetrate planetary defenses and gather detailed intelligence, suddenly found themselves caught in microscopic gravity wells that didn't exist moments before. In the alien probe ships, confusion reigned. Their instruments showed nothing unusual. Deep space readings remained normal. Earth still appeared to be a primitive world with basic satellite technology. Yet their sensor packages, the most advanced scanning technology in the known galaxy, had simply vanished. They're launching a second wave of sensors, Area reported, and the main fleet is moving forward. It appears we got their attention. Sarah allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Perfect. They're doing exactly what the psychological models predicted. Activate the quantum mirrors. Across the solar system, devices that had laid dormant for decades came to life. Based on technology reverse engineered from fragments of quantum signals detected over centuries, these devices began to create perfect reflections of the alien fleet's own sensor readings. To the Empire's ships, it would appear as if space itself was normal, while in reality, they were seeing only what humanity wanted them to see. Main fleet is accelerating, Rodriguez reported. They're taking a more aggressive stance. Looks like the loss of their sensors has them worried. Time to show them why. Sarah said, Lieutenant Hayes, prepare the Prometheus protocol. Let's give them something their sensors can actually detect. Throughout the asteroid belt, hundreds of seemingly normal rocks began to shift. These weren't natural formations, but rather advanced autonomous units developed through decades of secret research and development. Each one contained technology that merged human innovation with principles gleaned from years of studying alien quantum emissions. Prometheus units in position, Hayes confirmed. Ready on your mark. Sarah took a deep breath. This next move would reveal to the Empire that Earth was not the primitive planet they thought it was, but it would only show them a fraction of humanity's true capabilities. Execute Prometheus. The modified asteroids activated, releasing waves of focused quantum energy that the alien ships couldn't ignore. Their sensors, designed to detect any form of known energy, suddenly lit up with readings that should have been impossible for a primitive world to produce. The alien fleet's formation shifted, moving into a defensive pattern. Their confidence was shaken, but they still believed their superior technology and numbers would prevail. They had no way of knowing that humanity had spent generations preparing not just to match their technology, but to surpass it. "They're charging weapons," Rodriguez announced, his voice steady. "All ships are powering up their main defensive systems." Sarah watched as the alien fleet prepared for what they thought would be a simple show of force against a partially advanced civilization. They still didn't realize that every move they made was playing directly into humanity's hands. "Let them come," she said, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Initiate Phase 2 of Operation Looking Glass. It's time to show them what humanity is truly capable of." The trap was about to snap shut, and the Galactic Empire was about to learn why Earth had been silent for so long. They were about to discover that humanity hadn't been hiding in fear. They had been hiding their strength, waiting for this exact moment. The alien fleet's first volley of energy weapons illuminated the void between Mars and Earth, a dazzling display of power meant to demonstrate their technological superiority. But as the beams of concentrated plasma approached their targets, something unprecedented happened. They simply ceased to exist. "Quantum sinks operating at optimal efficiency," HFY reported, as the massive hidden arrays throughout the solar system absorbed and redirected the energy through dimensional shifts that humanity had discovered decades ago. "Energy harvest successful. Storage banks at 30% capacity and rising." Sarah Chen watched as confusion spread through the alien fleet. Their most powerful weapons had just vanished without impact, without explosion, as if they had never existed at all. Time to return their greeting. "Colonel Rodriguez, you may begin the counterattack." Throughout the solar system, humanity's true defensive grid revealed itself. The Lazarus platforms, hidden in dimensional pockets, emerged into normal space. They were unlike anything the Empire had ever encountered, not traditional space stations or weapons platforms, but crystalline structures that seemed to bend reality around them. "All platforms reporting ready," Rodriguez confirmed. "Targeting solutions locked. Permission to execute Operation Thunderbolt." "Granted," Sarah nodded. "Show them what we learned from studying their quantum emissions all these years." The Lazarus platforms activated, releasing weapons based on principles that the Empire had never even theorized. Beams of concentrated probability tore through space, not so much damaging their targets as temporarily shifting them into alternate timelines where they had already been destroyed. "Multiple enemy ships showing critical failures," Hayes reported, her fingers dancing across her console. "Their shields are useless against temporal warfare. They've never seen anything like this." The alien fleet's formation broke as ships began to disappear and reappear in various states of destruction. Their commanders, trained to handle any conventional attack, found themselves facing weapons that violated their understanding of physics. "New energy signatures from the enemy fleet," HFY announced. "They're preparing to deploy their mass driver weapons. Kinetic bombardment imminent." Sarah had anticipated this. The Empire always resorted to brute force when their energy weapons proved ineffective. "Activate the gravity lens arrays. Let's show them why that was a mistake." As the alien ships launched their physical projectiles, massive slugs of dense material accelerated to near-light speed. Earth's gravity lens system engaged. The projectiles suddenly found themselves caught in artificially generated gravity fields that curved space itself, sending them into carefully calculated loops that would never reach their targets. "Enemy fleet is launching fighters," Rodriguez reported. "Nearly 10,000 small craft deploying in attack formation." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Perfect. Release the nest swarms." From hidden bases on Mars moons, millions of microscopic robots activated. These nano-enhanced swarm technologies represented the pinnacle of human miniaturization science. Each one was smaller than a dust particle, yet contained more computing power than all of Earth's computers from the 20th century combined. The nest swarms flowed through space like silver rivers, engulfing the enemy fighters. Rather than destroying them, the nanobots simply interfaced with their systems, rewriting their base code faster than the Empire's cyber defenses could respond. Within minutes, thousands of alien fighters found themselves unable to fire their weapons or even maintain their course. "The enemy fleet is pulling back," Hayes announced. "They're attempting to regroup at the edge of the asteroid belt. We're detecting massive energy buildups. Looks like they're preparing their primary wave cannon." "Let them," Sarah said calmly. "Area. Status of energy harvest from their initial attack. Storage banks at 78% capacity." The AI responded. "More than sufficient for Phase 3. Sarah opened a channel to all Earth defense stations. "This is Control. Prepare for Phase 3 of Operation Looking Glass. All personnel to battle stations. We're about to show them why humanity stopped broadcasting into space centuries ago." As the alien fleet gathered their remaining ships for one massive attack, they still didn't realize the truth. Earth hadn't gone silent out of fear or ignorance. They had gone silent because they had detected the Empire's presence long ago, and they had spent every moment since then preparing for this confrontation. "Enemy wave cannon charging," Hayes reported. "Impact in 3 minutes." Sarah watched the tactical display, knowing that the next few moments would change the course of human history. "Initiate Phase 3. Let's show them what humanity has been working on while they thought we were just discovering electricity." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum arrays began to power up, preparing to reveal technology that would shatter the Empire's understanding of what was possible. The real battle was about to begin, and humanity was ready to demonstrate why they had been the hunters, not the prey, all along. The Empire's wave cannon discharged, releasing a blast of pure energy that could shatter planets. The massive beam cut through space toward Earth, carrying enough power to overcome any known defense system. But Earth had long since moved beyond known systems. "Quantum mirror array fully charged," Araya announced. "Ready to initiate on your command." Sarah Chen stood calm in the control center, watching the approaching wave of destruction. "Execute Protocol Omega. Show them what we learned from the Ganymede incident." Throughout Earth's orbit, hidden satellites activated simultaneously. They didn't create shields or barriers. Instead, they bent space itself, creating a perfect quantum mirror. As the Empire's wave cannon strike reached the mirror, something unprecedented happened. The beam didn't just reflect, it amplified. Energy signature multiplying exponentially. Lieutenant Hayes reported, her voice tight with concentration. "The mirror array is working exactly as designed." The reflected beam, now carrying 10 times its original power, shot back toward the Empire's fleet. Their ships scattered, their formation breaking as they faced their own weapon turned against them with devastating force. "Multiple enemy ships critically damaged," Rodriguez announced. "Their secondary shields are failing. They're pulling back to regroup." But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. "Time to show them why we let them get this close." "Araya. Activate the Prometheus engine." Deep beneath the lunar surface, humanity's greatest achievement hummed to life. The Prometheus engine, a device that could manipulate the fundamental forces of reality, began its work. Throughout the solar system, space itself began to change. "Spatial distortion field expanding," Araya reported. "The enemy fleet is now within the influence zone." The Empire's ships suddenly found themselves in trouble far worse than mere weapon fire. The laws of physics around them began to shift subtly. Their faster-than-light drives, the pride of Imperial technology, started to malfunction. Their quantum communications, believed to be unblockable, went silent. "They're trying to retreat," Hayes observed. "But their drives aren't responding correctly. The spatial distortion is affecting their calculations." Sarah nodded. "Just as planned. Colonel, deploy the Nexus drones." From hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt, thousands of autonomous craft emerged. These weren't simple combat drones. They were expressions of humanity's mastery over quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence. Each one contained a miniature version of the same technology that powered the Prometheus engine. The drones swarmed through space, not attacking the Empire's ships directly, but creating localized pockets of altered reality around them. Ships found themselves trapped in bubbles where time moved differently, where energy behaved according to different rules, where their most advanced technology simply ceased to function. Enemy fleet showing signs of complete disarray. Rodriguez reported with satisfaction. Their command structure is breaking down. We're detecting multiple attempts at emergency temporal jumps, but none are succeeding. Sarah opened a channel to the enemy fleet, speaking for the first time directly to the would-be conquerors. This is Earth Defense Command to Imperial Fleet. You are experiencing just a fraction of our defensive capabilities. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your shields cannot protect you. Your drives cannot escape us. We have spent centuries preparing for this moment. She paused, letting the message sink in. We could destroy your entire fleet right now, but that would be wasteful. Instead, we offer you a choice. Surrender, and you will be treated with respect. Your crews will be safe. Your technology will be studied, not stolen. Refuse, and we will be forced to demonstrate why Earth has been the galaxy's most successful hunter, merely masquerading as prey. The enemy fleet hung motionless in space, their mighty ships now little more than elaborate traps for their own crews. Sarah watched as their commanders faced a reality they had never imagined possible, a primitive world that had not only matched their technology, but had far surpassed it. Multiple ships are powering down, Hayes reported. They're surrendering. But before Sarah could respond, Araya's voice cut through the control room. Warning. Detecting massive power surge from the enemy flagship. They appear to be activating some form of doomsday device. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Of course, the Empire would have a final desperate move, but humanity had prepared for this too. Initiate final protocol. Show them what the Prometheus engine can really do. As the enemy flagship began to glow with impossible energy, preparing to take Earth with them into oblivion, humanity's ultimate defense prepared to reveal itself. The real reason Earth had waited so long, had prepared so carefully, was about to become clear to everyone in the galaxy. The enemy flagship pulsed with apocalyptic energy, its doomsday device preparing to tear a hole in reality itself. But as the device reached critical power, something extraordinary happened to space-time around the vessel. The massive energy buildup simply stopped. Prometheus engine at full capacity, Araya announced. Temporal stasis field holding steady. The enemy flagship is completely contained. Sarah Chen watched as the Empire's ultimate weapon found itself frozen in a bubble of altered time, its devastating power held in perfect suspension. Status of the secondary fleets. The remaining ships are standing down, Hayes reported, relief evident in her voice. They're deactivating all weapons and drive systems. Full surrender. But Sarah's attention remained fixed on the frozen flagship. What they were about to reveal would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Begin final phase of Protocol Omega. Show them what humanity has really been working on all these centuries. Deep beneath the lunar surface, the Prometheus engine's true form activated. It wasn't just a defensive system or a reality warping weapon. It was humanity's first successful bridge between dimensions. As it powered up, the quantum fabric of space-time around Earth began to shift and ripple. Multiple dimensional interfaces stabilizing, Araya reported. The network is online. Suddenly, in space around Earth, dozens of spatial rifts opened. Through each one, another Earth was visible. Parallel versions of humanity that had been in contact and cooperation for decades. The Empire's fleet found itself surrounded not by one advanced civilization, but by an entire network of them. Open channel to all Imperial vessels, Sarah commanded. They need to understand exactly what they've walked into. She stood straight, her voice clear and confident. To all Imperial forces, what you're witnessing is the quantum network, humanity's greatest achievement. We haven't just been preparing for your arrival in this reality. We've been preparing in thousands of them. Through the spatial rifts, ships and stations from parallel Earths moved into position. Each one represented a slightly different path of human development, a different approach to science and technology. Together, they formed something unprecedented in any universe, a unified multidimensional civilization. We detected your empire's quantum emissions centuries ago, Sarah continued. Not just here, but across multiple realities. We saw how you conquered worlds, how you built your empire. And we decided to do something different. Instead of expanding outward, we expanded sideways, into other dimensions. The frozen flagship hung in space, its crew forced to watch as their understanding of reality itself was shattered. Around them, technologies from thousands of parallel human civilizations demonstrated capabilities that the Empire had never dreamed possible. Your empire spans galaxies, Sarah acknowledged. But we span realities. Your ships travel through space. Ours travel between dimensions. You mastered the art of conquest. We mastered the art of infinite possibility. Colonel Rodriguez approached her station, his voice low. The parallel defense networks are all reporting ready. Every Earth in the network is prepared to respond if the Empire attempts any further aggression. Sarah nodded, then addressed the Imperial Fleet one final time. We're going to release your flagship from temporal stasis now. What happens next is your choice. You can accept that the galaxy is larger and more complex than you imagined, and work with us to build something new. Or you can force us to demonstrate why challenging humanity, all humanities, would be your last mistake. The temporal stasis field dissolved. The doomsday device's energy, no longer held in check, began to build again. For a moment, the entire solar system held its breath. Then, slowly, the energy signatures from the device began to fade. The flagship's systems powered down. Across all frequencies, surrender signals began broadcasting from every Imperial vessel. They're standing down, Hayes confirmed. All ships. The Empire. They're requesting to open diplomatic channels. Sarah finally allowed herself to relax slightly. Accept their request and send word through the network. It's time to begin Phase 1 of the integration protocol. As the Empire's mighty fleet hung powerless in space, surrounded by technologies they couldn't comprehend, humanity prepared to step onto the galactic stage. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as something entirely new, guardians of a multi-dimensional peace that would reshape the very nature of civilization itself. Earth hadn't just survived its first contact with the Empire. It had transcended every limitation the Empire thought existed. And now, the real work could begin, teaching an entire galaxy that the power to change reality itself came not from conquest, but from the infinite potential that lived within every conscious mind, in every reality, across all dimensions of existence.